I'm Tarot Oracle, and this is my video review of the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. Here's the box. Now, I'm not a big fan of this tarot, and we'll discuss why in a moment. But the box comes with 2 slots for your cards, made out of plastic, and then you wrap them in these little things, and 2 sections of cards go in here. Nice box, nice packaging, but not a fan of the tarot overall. So let's review why. Comes with a 160-page book, and we'll review this in a moment. So the basic idea behind this tarot is that in 1964, the Lost Book of Nostradamus was found, and there's a History Channel documentary that's an hour and a half. I will link it in the comments section below. If you want to sit and listen to the whole hour or watch the whole hour and a half, please feel free. I've captured a bunch of pictures from that documentary that show the pictures that are some of the pictures that are in here. Now, some of the historians, for Nostradamus historians, went through the book and said that it was not his writing, nor was it his son's writing, so they don't know who it was. So they think that somebody found Nostradamus's text and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so the author found this lost book, and it had like 80 pictures, and so some of the pictures looked a lot like tarot cards. So he decided to make the tarot cards. Now, unfortunately, he couldn't get the rights because of copyright to use the actual pictures from the book, so he took a picture of the pictures and went home and redrew them in Photoshop the best he could with tracing, and then produced these cards. Alright, now that the whole story is out, let's look at the actual cards and why I do not like them. First off, they're not standard tarot cards in the least bit. You have the globes, which are minors. You have the stars, which are minors. You have the suns, which are minors. And finally, you have the moons, which are minors. They don't really correspond to anything. In addition, they all have huge borders. They're not trimmable at all. They have monstrous borders on here, and I'm really not sure what to do with these. So, I mean, some of these, it's like 60% of the card is covered in border, and this is an example of some of these in the majors. So, you really can't trim it, and each border is totally different. I mean, this border is different than this border, is different than this border, is different than this border. And he said he did this because the pictures were really bad. So apparently Nostradamus was not exactly the best artist, so he kind of drew stick pictures and little pictures of, you know, suns and things like this. Now, the other issue I have is Nostradamus predicted the end of the world. Well, this book predicted the end of the world in 2012. If you're wrong on predicting the end of the world, how, you know, correct can these tarot cards be? Another issue I have is the tarot cards are colored differently. So if this is about to come up in the next card, it's just colored differently. I mean, I just don't like them how it's colored differently. And my last issue with this is all of the court cards are completely different. So, for example, these are the moons. Here are the moon court cards. You have the neophyte, then you have the initiate, then you have the prophetess, and then you have the master. So those are the court cards for the moon. Now, the sun court cards are even more different than that. For the sun court cards, you have the page, then you have the prince, and then the knight, and the lady. And then again, you're going to have totally different court cards in the stars as well. So the cards in the stars for court are the postulant, the cardinal, the abbess, and the pope. And lastly, yes, these are different too. So you have to kind of go and look up what all this crap means and memorize all of these. These are the globe suits. The apprentice, the astrologer, the astronomer, and the alchemist. So the alchemist has the correlation between the 2 points in the universe, one of which is like the center of the universe, which will no longer exist when it explodes and we all die in a fire. And this is the boat that we're supposed to be on to not do that, the religious boat. This indicates the world has ended, blah, 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 blah. So you kind of have to wing it as far as the court cards are concerned, in addition to being completely non-standard. So again, we have these monstrous borders where very little of the actual card is a graphic, and overall I'm not a big fan. I'll try it out for a few readings and see if I like it. Maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't, or whatever. So if you're wondering what the graphics are, the pictures you see during this review, those are pictures from the movie. So give you a little idea of the pictures from the movie versus the pictures of the card. So in the movie you do see like this picture here, the pictures that I showed you before, and many of these others. So if you want to watch the hour-and-a-half movie, if you don't, it's up to you. So Hermit, Justice, Fortune's Wheel, and then Complete the World, Death. These are reversed, I think. The Magician. Yeah, the Magician is in there too. So we'll show the Magician side by side. Here we go. Right here, and on the right will be the picture from the movie. So that's the Magician, and that's the Magician from the movie. And then you have other things from the movie as well. So overall, I'm not a big fan. Let's take a look at the book. And I will stop ranting about why I do not like these cards all that much. They may be fantastic. Maybe I'm underestimating them. So, the beginning of the book, you have all of the stuff that I just told you about. So, it talks about the In Search of the Lost Tarot, the life of Nostradamus, how centuries were received, the Book of Images. This is where the book is found, the mysteries of the lost book, and the Lost Tarot, where he notices the images actually look like tarot cards. Reinterpreting the image, where he get them in Photoshop, and he remade them, and he said he put the big borders around them because the images were so bad he didn't want to fill up a whole tarot card with them. So creating the deck using the images, all of this stuff is covered in what I just said. So this continues on for the first 28 pages. After that, you get the cards and their meaning. Now the majors have a metal to them, so that's why it's a different color. This is gold, so the majors are in gold, and I believe this is silver, and this is mercury, and so that's why they're the different color. So it goes through the majors. You get a small representation of the actual card, followed by the title, kind of a history of it, and the interpretation of that card, and then the upright versus reversed meanings of that. Then you get a quote from Nostradamus, and that's about it. So it's about 2 pages per major. So again, you have the Magician, a small card, the interpretation, etc., etc. After this is all done, we go to the completed world. Now we go to the actual minors. The minors start at about page 74. So the suit of stars, you see the middle of Mercury. And so that's why in the suit of stars it has a different color than like the majors, or the majors of the suit of moons, the suit of suns, etc., etc. So for each of the minors, you get 1 page. So here's the one of stars. You get a quote, a small representation of the card, and then the interpretive, kind of a history, the interpretive meaning, and at the bottom you get the definitions for this particular card. So again, it goes through all the different ones, and it tells you the difference between the Knight of Suns, the Lady of Suns, the Page of Suns, and when you get to some of these, the Neophyte, the Initiate, and all that. So it explains all of those, and you can memorize those if you want. And then about page 136, it starts with spreads. So you have the quatrain, oracle. He does a sample reading with these. You have the Alchemist spread and Wheel of Centuries spread. And then you have a sample reading with that, Alpha and Omega spread, and a sample reading with that. And then the How to Meditate on the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. And that's about it. It's about 160 pages. Pretty thorough book. And the issues that I have with it are already explained. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the cards really fast. And if you go ahead and pause the video if you need to see any card that you like.